Hello, and welcome to Tales for Life. In each episode of this podcast, we'll explore a folk or fairy tale from a different culture or region and discover the life lessons, values, and morals they offer that we can use today. Join me on the journey through the magical and meaningful world of folk and fairy tales. Welcome back, friends, to another episode of Tales for Life, the podcast that journeys through life one tale at a time. Whether this is the first time you're listening or you're coming back, thanks for being here. Today's episode features a 19th century tale that still speaks to the 21st century and beyond. It's an episode titled, Leave the Weight Behind. For all of us, there's a deep desire to move forward in life. No matter how good today is, hoping for a better tomorrow is never a bad thing. Maybe it's a promotion at work, a new home, a healthier relationship, a long overdue change, or simply the chance to feel more at peace than you did yesterday. We want to grow, improve, and continue to prosper. Because like trees, if we're not growing, that usually means something's wrong. And one of the most certain ways to move forward is simple, but not easy. Drop the weight. And just to be clear, we're not talking about physical weight here. We're talking about the mental and emotional weight that's far harder to lose. The weight of our past, the struggles we've carried longer than we needed to, the hurts that still echo, the unfairness that still stings. These are the things we have to release if we want to rise, because that weight, pun fully intended, weighs us down. We can't reach new heights if we chain ourselves to the dead weight of our past. And that brings us to today's tale, a story collected more than a century ago in Denmark. It's a reminder that sometimes the only way forward is to let go of what no longer serves us, even when it feels like it's all we have left. This is the tale of the Three Pennies. Many years ago, an old soldier was discharged from the army. He received, in consideration of his excellent and faithful service, a small loaf of rye bread and 3 pennies, whereupon he was at liberty to go whither he pleased. As he was walking along the high road, he met 3 men. The one carried a shovel, the second a pickaxe, and the third a spade. The soldier stopped, looked at them, and said, "Where are you going?" "I will tell you," answered one of them. "Today there was buried a man who owed each of us 1 penny, and now we will dig him up, since we are determined upon getting our dues." "What an idea!" returned the soldier. "You had better leave the dead man alone. At any rate, he is at present unable to pay you even 1 penny, so don't disturb his peace." "It is all very fine for you to talk," answered the man, "but we must have the money, and up he must come." When the soldier felt that his fair words could not settle the matter, he said, "Here, I have 2 pennies. Will you take them and promise to leave the dead man undisturbed?" "2 pennies are not to be refused," said the man again, "but they will only pay 2 of us. What can you give the third one, since he is bent upon having his share?" As the soldier saw that there was no dealing with these 3 wretches, he resumed, "Since you are so desperately determined, here is my third and last penny. Take it and be content." Now all 3 were satisfied, so they pursued their way with the 3 pennies in their pockets. When the soldier had advanced the distance, a stranger came walking along. He looked rather pale, but saluted the soldier in a very civil manner, and followed him along the road without uttering a single sound. At last they reached a church, and here the stranger turned to his companion, saying, "Let us walk in." The soldier looked wistfully at him and answered, "That would not do. What business have we in the church at midnight?" "I tell you," replied the stranger, "we must walk in." Upon this, they entered the church and walked straight up to the altar. There was an old woman sitting with a burning light in her hand. "Take a hair from her head and smell at it," commanded the stranger. The soldier complied, but nothing remarkable happened. The stranger asked him to repeat the action, which he did, but there was no effect. The third time, however, when he tore a whole tuft of hair from the woman's head, she became so furious that she darted off, out above the church, carrying the whole leaden vault with her. The two men went out of the church and down to the beach, where they found the whole leaden vault. Turning to the soldier, the stranger said, "Sit up, we will put to sea." "Is that so?" remarked the soldier, who understood nothing of all this. "I see no ship, however." "Let me manage it all," says the stranger. "Just seat yourself by me on the vault. Beyond the sea there is a princess of whom it was predicted that she would be married only to a man who should come across the sea in a leaden ship. Here you will be able to make your fortune." The leaden vault now floated out upon the open sea and landed them safely on the other side. Great was the joy and happiness throughout the country, and the marriage between the soldier and the princess was celebrated with such pomp and splendor as was never seen before or after. When the ceremony had been performed and the carriage was standing in front of the church door, bride and groom entered, with the stranger who had followed the soldier all along. The coachman asked to what place he might drive them. "Drive away as fast as you can towards the side where the sun will rise," said the stranger, and in a little while they were carried along at a furious rate. Somewhere they saw a large herd of cattle. They stopped, and the soldier called the herdsman to the carriage door, asking who he was. "I am the Count of Ravensburg," answered the shepherd, "and yonder is my castle." The stranger again bid the coachman drive as fast as possible. In a little while they rushed up to Ravensburg Castle. As they were ready to alight from the carriage, there was someone who knocked hard at the gate. It was the herdsman, who was anxious to come in. The stranger walked to the gate, inquiring what he could do for him. He wished to come into the castle, he said, for it belonged to him, and he had a right to demand admittance. The stranger meditated a little, whereupon he told the herdsman, who was a conjurer, that he might be allowed to come in, but first he must suffer the whole fate of the rye. "The fate of the rye?" repeated the conjurer. "What do you mean by that?" "I mean," answered the stranger, "that next fall you must be sown deep in the ground, and towards spring, when you come up, you must ripen in the sunshine and grow in the rain until you are ready for the harvest. Then you will be mowed and dried and kept in the barn until at length you will be threshed." "How is that?" cried the conjurer. "Am I to be threshed?" "Of course you are," replied the stranger. "First you will be threshed, and then taken to the mill and ground." "Ground too?" shouted the conjurer. "Will I be ground also?" "Yes, both ground and sifted," answered the stranger. But the conjurer, hearing this, became so furious that he burst all into flintstones. The stranger now bid goodbye to the princess and the soldier, shook hands with them, and said, "Now I have seen you married to the princess. The troll of Ravensburg is dead and gone, and his castle, with all its treasures, is yours. I was as good to you as you were to me when you gave away your 3 pennies for my sake." "What do you say?" exclaimed the soldier. "I never thought of those 3 pennies again." "I know that," answered the stranger, "and otherwise I would not have been able to help you. However, I bid farewell to you and your wife, for I must return to the place where I belong." What a tale. A little spooky, a little mysterious, but packed with truth, a few pieces of which are worth carrying with us. The first comes right at the beginning. Our soldier leaves the army with almost nothing, just a loaf of bread and 3 pennies. The bread is the part of his past that sustains him, the strength he's built, the lessons he's learned, the resilience he's earned. He uses that as he should. But the pennies? Those are the burden. They represent the limits of his old life, the smallness he could cling to if he let fear decide his future. And he knows that if he holds on to that weight, he'll never move beyond it. So he lets it go. And that's the same choice we face. If we define our future by the scraps of our past, we won't get very far. There's also something powerful in the way he releases that weight with no expectation of reward. He doesn't bargain, he doesn't calculate. He simply does what's right and steps forward empty-handed. In our own lives, letting go works the same way. We don't drop old hurts or old stories because we're guaranteed something better. We drop them because carrying them keeps us from becoming who we're meant to be. And then there's the strange guide who appears, leading him into places he never would have entered on his own. Following that guide is its own kind of courage. In our world, that guide might be a new opportunity, a hard decision, a change we didn't ask for, or a path that feels unfamiliar. And like the soldier, we face tests along the way. Test of trust, test of endurance, test of conviction. The conjurer in the tale is the force that tries to pull us back, the voice that insists we don't deserve the life opening in front of us. But the soldier stands firm, and the past loses its power over him. That's the moment his bright future becomes his magnificent present. So as you head into your week, I hope you find the strength to release whatever weight has been holding you down. I hope you trust the path that's unfolding, even if it feels strange at first. And I hope each step you take brings you closer to the life you're building. Thanks for spending this time with me, and I look forward to meeting you again on the next episode of Tales for Life.